Shannon Drayer here in Arlington, where we are very thankful that when we look out and check out the thermometer out there, it only says 88, and that most likely will be the high. This time of year, you can be looking at temperatures as high as the low 100s. We really are lucky. It should be downright pleasant by game time. A funny story, a lot of the guys are not from the Northwest or the West. A lot of guys from different parts of the country. They have their temporary housing in Seattle, and they've all been looking for their air conditioners the last few days. They have thermostats, but they can't understand why they don't get cooler. I talked to a couple of guys about this, and they mean, what do you mean? You don't have air conditioning in houses in Seattle? No, not for the most part. Kyle Seeger asked if I had any tips to keeping a house cool, and I said you pretty much wait for the 3 days until it goes down to normal temperatures. So just something ball players have to deal with. Good news on the injury front, Dustin Ackley is back in the lineup. He really dodged a bullet with that thumb, and looking at the video, the way that he landed on that, he's lucky he didn't tear anything on the thumb, and that would have required surgery. He probably would have been out 6 weeks. Nope, he's back out there today. He said he looked at the tape and realized that he might need to keep his thumb up more if he dives for a ball the way he did there. Everything is new for Dustin in the outfield. We've talked about it before, but he's not an outfielder. He only has played 16 games in the outfield in college and a few games in the Cape Cod League before making this switch, so it's not natural for him out there. He's seeing a lot of things that are different. One of the biggest things is reading swings. You might remember the first ball that was hit to him in the air at Safeco Field. When he first played center field and he looked kind of awkward getting to it, he made the play, but it didn't look good. He thought it had been swung on harder. That's what he saw. It's a completely different look all the way back in the outfield than it is from the infield, and that's one of the things that can be deceiving. A guy can put a hard swing on it, but if he doesn't get all of it, it's not going to come at the outfielder as hard as he might think, and this is something that he's got to learn. He also talked about learning about grass patterns. If you look out there, they've got a lattice pattern on the grass. Well, believe it or not, and Ichiro talked to me about this years ago too, it was something that he always checked out. Depending on how the grass is mowed, it can affect how the ball snakes to you if it's a grounder in the outfield. This is something else Dustin Ackley's learning about. So a lot of things he's still learning in the outfield. The most important thing is, however, he's totally game for it. He hasn't given any indication that he's annoyed by the move, that he's insecure about the move, that he doesn't have a lot of confidence that he can make this transition, and that's a great thing to see. Michael Saunders was working out with a trainer today. That was also good to see. He, of course, is still trying to come back from that spiked finger. He told me that he's available tonight, but Eric Wedge might have different ideas, saying he's not sure if he can do more than running. We'll see what happens once it gets to game time. Here's your lineup today. Andy Chavez leading off, followed by Franklin, Ibanez in left, Morales, the DH, Seeger, Smoke, Ackley in center, Zunino behind the plate, and Brad Miller rounding out the 9 at short. For all the latest breaking news, you can, of course, stay tuned to 710 ESPN Seattle. Follow me on Twitter at Shannon Drayer, and, of course, on the blog at 710sports.com.